Thank you, and welcome to the second half of the American Dysfunction. I am Tempe Terrell. The American Dysfunction came about, pretty much in my head because my thoughts were America is very dysfunctional. We have a whole lot of corrupt, immoral people in positions where they don't need to be. Things are being done that shouldn't be done, and yet no one is speaking up or speaking out. I felt as though it was my job and my duty, to make a ploy and say, look, where are the reputable people at to go to and say, listen, this is what's going on, and we need help getting assistance. And it became a personal thing for me when I got caught up in the Philadelphia system. It first started with going to jail, which I mentioned before in the first segment, and then was dealing with an attorney who, at one point where I couldn't afford to pay her any money, Venus Foster, who works for Michael Court for the Philadelphia criminal system, very adamantly told me, I don't care how you get me my money, even if you have to lay on your back, you better get me my money. And it was drunken phone calls, from there on in. I did report her to the board, but once again, it became her word against mine because a verbal agreement, quote unquote, which we had no verbal agreement. But this goes to show and say that if you do not have the proper verbiage to talk to these people, the proper lingo, or you don't know anybody, who's willing to go step up and step out for you, then you have to go through the means and explore yourself. As you can take a look at my background, you can see I'm not living, exactly the lavish life that I have expected to be living, right about this time, for my age and the hard work that I put in. I'm in a shelter in another state. I refuse to go into a shelter in the Philadelphia system because at that point I feel as though I will never, excuse me again, I will never get to where I needed to go and what I needed to do, for my family. Bad enough I had to leave my children behind to accomplish these feats and tasks, and then have to deal with that. I had been explaining to people within the city of DHS, who, I don't know, for some reason are convinced that, I'm on some type of drug. The only drug I'm on, baby, is life, because it's important to me, and I'm fighting for it, and I'm going to keep fighting for it. I have a sister who works for the DHS system who didn't help. She kind of hurt more in a nutshell because of her personal gripe against me and what's been pigmented in her head about me due to other family members. Yet these are the same people who, when they needed help, I was there to help them, loan them money, take them places, do whatever it is. And when I cut all strings and said, you know what, I have to live my life and do the things that I need to do, can't help you right now. And Michael Nutter, who is now the mayor of Philadelphia, my thing to you is, what do you want to do about it? You have a lot of people that's going down, burning badly because it's so simple and so easy for somebody to go and lie and create a story that's not true, and everybody falls into and believes it. Everybody likes to believe gossip and stuff, and the truth is, truth does hurt. No matter how you tell it or what you tell it or how it's being told, it hurts. Nobody likes to accept it. Nobody. I haven't met not one person who can honestly say, I enjoy hearing the truth all the time. No, the truth hurts. And the truth of the matter is that Philadelphia is going down in a nutshell because of too much scrutinizing behavior. You have judges that are being disbarred, from stealing money, for throwing kids in jail, unlawfully. What's going on with that, as well as my story. There are other people in my situation, just as well, who are being penalized and going under. And these people who work hard, who participate in the economy, who are trying to make better ways for themselves and for their family and for their community. And yet here it is, they're getting the short end of the stick. So here it is, you got these kids looking at what's going on, and they're like, what am I supposed to do? If this is going on happening to them, what's going to happen to me when I step up? Well, I wanted to challenge the theory. I wanted to challenge the rights. I wanted to challenge everything that was going to come my way and say, look, it ain't so. You just have to speak. And we live in a world now where technology is so vast that, I made this my floor, and I'm going to keep making this my floor, and I'm going to keep speaking up and speaking out until I get heard, and I get listened to. unfortunately, we have run out of time. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to the American Dysfunction, and I will see you again. Peace and blessings.